Hello, hello, hello. This is Siobhan with Siobhan Sells Homes, coming to you today with a little real estate tea. First things first, two things. As soon as I got here to show this house, the sky fell open. It is raining cats and dogs out here. And so I'm just sitting here waiting on my client, and we're hoping that the rain subsides a little bit so that we can go inside. Um, but while I'm sitting here, I was thinking, before I left the house, I was watching something on Lifetime. I don't know if you guys watch Lifetime Movie Network. I do. But why is it that they cast like 56-year-olds to play the role of like a 16, a 17-year-old high school student or a 20-year-old college student? And you can clearly see they look as old as me playing a high school or a college student. Like, why? There's so many young starving actresses and actors that would love to get those roles that are more fitting, age appropriate, or age that look the age that they're supposed to be playing. It's just weird. But anyway, just want to let you know, a lot of people have the misconception of homes that are sitting on the market for a while, that you can just go in instantly and negotiate to like the lowest infinite number possible. That's not always the case. Not to say that it can't happen, um, but there's so many different reasons as to why homes are sitting on the market. One is the market has shifted significantly, and it's been going through several shifts lately. And now it's kind of leveling out a little bit. So we had a little bit of that. We had the interest rates that were crazy high, but now they are pretty consistent, and they're in a good range. They're in the six percentile, I'll say that. And then there's even some different lenders and builders that are offering rates as low as 4 and 5%. We won't see that 2 and 3% interest rate probably ever again. I, for one, wish that they would go back to that rate, but we probably won't see that. But I can say that the rates are fluctuating between in the 3 percentile and the 4 percentile with different lenders and builders, like I said. But then they are pretty consistently staying around that 6% range. Okay. So we had that issue. And then there's also a lot of investors. We know that, right? So there's a lot of investors that are buying, flipping, selling, what have you. But they will go and they'll, put a house under contract, and it'll stay under contract for a while. They'll try to renegotiate. They do all these little swift tactics, and then they will terminate the contract. And then the home is back on the market. Or the seller is in a situation where they can't take a lower amount. So they've had different offers that have come in, and then they declined them for whatever reason. So keep in mind that the seller has a mortgage most times, and they have to meet a bottom line number. It might be an estate or a short sale where there's multiple people on the deed, and they have to agree to the amount. There's so many different scenarios. A lot of times, like if I represent a seller, if I'm listing their home, I always suggest a pre-listing appraisal. Whether the seller can pay for it or not. A lot of times I might pay for it and they can pay me back with the proceeds of the sale. But we'll get a pre-listing appraisal if we can't come to terms with what the actual market value of the home is. And so if you get a pre-listing appraisal, more often than not, that is the most accurate price point. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. So the bank has pretty much said that the house is worth this amount, right? So the seller knows what their house is worth. So let's just say that the house came back appraised at 349. That's the number that came up in my head. So the value is 349, and then someone says, "Oh, this house has been sitting on the market for 37 days. I'm gonna go and offer them 303," and the seller's like, "No, and then somebody else might come along and say, I'm going to offer them 317, I'm going to offer them 320. Seller knows the house is worth 349. They might want to sit on that house until they get an offer for 349. That might take 79 days. That might take 121 days. Seller is standing on business until they get the actual amount that they want. Now, sometimes once it starts getting into that 90 days or whatever, they might say, hey, let's, reconsider some things, whether that is pricing, whether that is concessions, what have you, commissions, all of that good stuff. So there's so many different scenarios as to pricing on a home and days on the market. So don't just go in and say this house has been on the market for 47 days and let's offer the seller $27,000 less than asking price because you want to pay X amount of dollars. What you want to pay does not dictate what the seller's house is worth. Okay, so you have to keep those things in mind. So follow the advice of your realtor, which I hope would be me. I am Siobhan with Siobhan Sells Homes. I am licensed to sell real estate in Florida and Georgia. However, I do have teams all over all 50 states and international. So whether I can assist you or not, I do have partnered agents that can. Contact me, Siobhan Sells Homes, 404-218-9089, or you can schedule your complimentary real estate consultation at SiobhanSellsHomes.com. Have a great day.